In this video, we'll be setting up our component library. This is the third library in our three libraries. The first one being primitive, second one semantic, and the third one is our component. All right, so we're gonna make a new collection, like so. I'm gonna call it component. I'm gonna create color. We're gonna say this is general slash surface slash primary slash default. All right. So we're going to have subfolders like this. So let's talk about surface. Surface is basically any background that I will be using. So for example, background for my cards, background for my buttons, background for my drop down, any background that will have text on top of it, or it is basically the first layer. If we think of the background itself of the entire app, the background is white and the foreground is off-white, for example. So this is level 0. The background itself is level 0. And the background for the card, for example, is level 1. You can have level 2 as well. So it depends on the style of the design system. So let's go into general, like so. And we will be adding the most popular backgrounds that we will be using in our design system. So we're gonna add BG, which is the complete background, the default background for the entire app that is valid for example, my marketplace, my posts, my settings, everything is going to be behind it, the BG, the background. And my background is neutral light 25. All right. Then we have our S1. What is our S1? Our surface one. So this is what is most common that you see, for example, in posts, in any page, any sort of card, any something like this. It is probably S1. It is something that is on top of the background. And that will be pure white. And finally, we have S2, our thing that is also on top of S1. And that is also white. Okay. And finally, we have the surface, the focus, sorry. So focus is the focus when the person is not able to see. They use focus so that they highlight, or they have, for example, color blindness. They use focus so that they highlight the button that they want to click on, and then they click on it. So we are going to have our focus color to be primary 300. Great. These are our most common surface items. Now we will become more specific. We will be using primary. So for my primary color, for my surface color, it's going to be primary 500. My hover will be primary 600. And my pressed will be primary 700. We will have another layer to this, which is subtle. Subtle default. My subtle colors will be light 100. My hover will be light 200. And my pressed will be light 300. Great. Now we will do our neutrals. Neutral slash default. It's going to be light, neutral light 50. My hover will be neutral light 100. And my pressed will be neutral light 200. Next up, we have our success slash default. And my success is 500. We'll start with success 500. And then hover. And then pressed 600, 700. For my error slash default. My error starts with 500, 600, and my pressed is 700. My next value is disabled, default. Neutral, light 25. And I don't have hover and pressed because, of course, disabled does not have hovered and pressed. And after that, we have our warning, default. My warning color is 500. And hover is 600. And pressed is 700. And my info slash default is info 500. Hover and pressed 600, 700. And with that, we have finished the surface level components. And it is time to do our text. Another color, like so, text slash. We're going to put all of our text in one tab. We don't have to do different ones for every single one of them. So my color is going to be text slash default. Here we're choosing the color for my text throughout the whole design system and throughout the entire design. This is what will be used for maybe 85% of my whole design. So the first thing is my neutral, or actually it's base. And Facebook uses a black color for its texts. We're going to have an inverse as well. Inverse for my colors, for my text. It's going to be neutral, light 50. And placeholder slash dark. It will be neutral 800, light 800. And placeholder is light 600. And placeholder subtle is light 300. And my primary is primary 500. And my success is 500. My error is 500. My warning is 500. My info is 500. And my disabled is neutral light 300. Great. With that, we have finished the text section. So we're gonna duplicate the text for my icons. Why do we do this? Do this because probably my icon will have a similar color to my text, because when you're looking at a button, you don't want the color of the icon to be different than the color of the text. You want them to be similar. However, in a very good design system, we do categorize between icons and text so that you're able to manipulate them easily, independently. You don't have to redo the text and do the icons separately. So we just duplicated the text tab. So there is one more thing we will add in the icon section. We will add, after placeholder, we're going to add another color, and we're going to add it something called, it is unselected. So unselected is for my checked box and my radio button. So we want a color, for example, if my radio button is unselected. So that is why we added unselected here. We are not going to add it to text because of course there is no selecting a text, but we do select a radio button or a checked item. So we're gonna go into our libraries, and my unselected is neutral light 50. Great. We're gonna add another thing right now. We're gonna add a color, primary/default. Why did we add a subfolder in our icons and we didn't add it for our text? Because in order to make a modern looking, for example, bottom nav, when you hover over, for example, the home icon, you want it to highlight using the primary color of the design system. This is something that is very commonly used in lots of big applications. When you hover over it or when you press it, you want it to pop up. You want it to highlight the entire button, for example, and that is why we have a hover and a default and a pressed state for our icons, but we don't have anything similar for our text because we don't highlight text that much. So my primary is going to be my primary 500. And we're going to have a hover state and we're going to have a pressed state. It's going to be 600 and 700. We can duplicate this. And we're going to call it our neutral. And it's going to be neutral light 600. Neutral light 700. And neutral light 800. Going to duplicate it again. And unselected. We're just going to have a default and hover. We're not going to have a pressed, because when you press on an unselected button, you hover on it, yes, it does change, but when you press it, it changes into the selected way. So it's going to be automatically shifted to selected, not pressed. So there's no pressed for an unselected item. So it's going to be neutral white and the hover will be neutral light 50. I'm gonna duplicate it, and this is the selected state. The selected state is going to be using our primary color. So primary 500, and my hover is primary 600. And finally, we will be doing our border for our general selection, because of course a border is very common in lots of different segments in my design system. So border slash default. My border default is going to be neutral light 900. Inverse is light 50. Placeholder is neutral light 500. My primary is primary 500. My primary slash subtle is primary 100. My divider is light 100. My neutral subtle is light 100. My unselected is neutral light 25. My success is success 500. My error is error 500. My warning is warning 500. And my info is my info 500. Great. Now we have set up all we need to do with regard to the general tab. So this is what you see, what you saw here is maybe 85 or 75% of my entire design system. These are all of the decisions that I will be contributing to my design system in terms of colors. The rest is going to be specific. Things that are specific towards certain components that are high value or they require some deviations. So we're gonna add our specific tab slash cards, for example. Now, for more videos about the Facebook design system, you will find more free videos in the channel. Or if you would like to take the Facebook design system course, you will find the link in the description.